Hi. Uh, how's it going out there in the nice little YouTube lands and all of the other podcast
Stop.
places where you're fucking
It's
hell.
not YouTube. It's not just
I that's
YouTube.
that's why I said and all the other I was continuing. You stopped me
Sorry.
before I could continue.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
And this is all the intro now. So
No.
suck it, future Brennan. Blame your past self for this. This wasn't my fault anymore, everyone. This is my simple pleasure. Thank you for coming into the Dialogue Dome. I'm Roxanne. Thank you for coming into the Dialogue Dome. I'm Roxanne. That's Brennan.
It
and
smells
today
like cashmere and snowflakes. This is so going in a Patreon intro.
This is such a fucking bullshit start, and I am so tempted to have you just have this be the start of the episode because it's so chaotic.
Listen, this
But,
defines us. It really does. Oh man.
Welcome everybody to the Dialogue Dome. I'm Roxanne, this is Brendan, and today we're going to be talking about simple pleasures.
My God, I think that's the best intro you've ever done.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Wasn't it great after that little train break from earlier?
Oh man.
My goodness, what a wonderful, pleasurable experience that was.
I don't even know what the fuck just happened.
I don't even know what it was.
Okay, everyone.
Oh my God.
Welcome in. Oh, Jesus. All right. Sorry, if you can't tell, the two of us are in a very weird mood this week.
Oh yeah, we're fucking giggly. I'm getting ready to move still, and all this other fun stuff is happening, and it's late, and it's starting to hit us. I think the alcohol is finally starting to hit us.
What alcohol?
Exactly.
Maybe I'm completely sober. Everybody, I don't know about Roxanne. Clearly, she's had a few. Okay, so speaking of alcohol, simple pleasures. Oh man,
what an episode! What an episode already! I love this. I love what's going on right now.
Yeah. I don't know. We just figured that this week would be just a good. I think we just need a good, simple, low research episode, ones where we don't have to really prepare ourselves, and
right.
I don't know. I just felt like bringing up simple pleasures. To be fair,
some positivity. Need some positivity in our lives. Let's be real right now.
Yeah. To be fair. Google Gemini gave me this idea, so I'm going to kind of pivot off of that, but I'm going to create my own version of what it said, because it's a stepping off point, not the final product.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So, why don't you start by asking me a question? I always ask you the first question.
I know, but that's because I'm never good at questions, and you know this. You know this, Brennan. I'm not good at questions. Well, okay. What is a simple pleasure to you? What is something that you find pleasurable simply?
The face that came with that question. To all of our listeners out there, Roxanne just gave the biggest smirk I've ever seen in my entire life from her. Honestly, I mean, in general, I would say that I'm a very, realistically, I'm a very simple person. I don't really, I say that with my fucking $5,000 computer next to me. I literally, it's so funny to me. I appreciate the simple joys in life to an extent.
Sure.
With certain specific things. There's specific things where I'm very bougie, and I would say one of those things would be tech. The other thing would be clothes. The other thing would be
Mhm.
food, right? But
Mm.
putting that aside, I am also a very simple person. I live a very simple life. I don't really, do a lot of complex stuff. Like, I'm not trying to
Mhm.
go out of my way to do these ridiculously crazy things. Um, but I would say one of my biggest simple pleasures, that one of my favorites, is just a nice hot cup of coffee in the morning.
Mm.
And that's
I
become a
can get that.
routine thing for me. I wake up in the morning, and the first thing I do after I take a shower, which another one is a nice hot shower,
Mm.
but the first thing I do after I take a shower is I either make a pot of coffee and I pour it, or I just get, a French press and I just make a very small
Mm.
amount of coffee and pour that. But there is, I gotta say this, my favorite sound in the whole world
Mhm.
is the sound of a hot cup of coffee being poured into a ceramic mug. That is
Mm.
my favorite sound in the whole world. You cannot
That's a good
replicate
one.
that sound.
Mhm. That's a good one. That's a good sound right there. Now, and I think that's a fairly universal thing, right? Like, I can only imagine how many other people out in the interwebs listening to this, probably have very similar, like, simple pleasures in that regard. Um, Mine is obviously tea. I love like a nice hot cup of tea, something fruity and fragrant and just sweet but watery, and it has this nice little flavor to it. It's wonderful. I love a nice cup of tea.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good one too. So I mean, it's just
Mhm.
uh, I'll go dive a little deeper into like mine. Like
Sure.
something I do every morning. I have I work in retail, for those of you who do
Mm.
not know. And so one of the things that I deal with a lot is I deal with a very, not a high, I wouldn't say a high demand of customers, but I deal with a lot of things pulling at me from different directions, whether it be to
Mhm.
go help somebody, whether it be to go teach, whether it be to go sell an accessory, whether it be to go, like help somebody out, set something up. I work in tech, by the way, for those of you who don't know. And
Hmm.
so, um, one of the things that I like to do before I go to work, I'll wake up about 2 hours before work. I'll make a little bit of coffee. I'll pour it into my nice ceramic mug. And then what I will do is I'll go into this room that I have in my house, which we call the sunroom. It is a room that is covered with windows and skylights. And it's the one room in the house where the most sun comes in. And
Mm.
I will just, in the morning sometimes, usually 6 out of 7 days of the week, I will go in there and I will sit down and I will just sip my cup of coffee and just
Mhm.
look out the window for a good 30
Mm.
minutes and just take it in.
Nice.
And that's what wakes me up. It gives me a nice, calm sense of energy before
Mm.
I start my
Mhm.
day. Because, in retail, things can go wrong very quickly. So it gets very
Oh, yeah.
chaotic. And
For
so
sure.
I like to just start the day with like at least some sense of calm before I dive into chaos, basically. But um, that's one of my simplest pleasures that I can think of. I mean, it's just really,
Mm.
you know, I wake up, grab a cup of coffee, I sit down, and I look out the window, and I observe my backyard, I observe nature, and just take in the scenery. And that's just kind of reflect on what I want the day to be, where I want it to go, so on and so forth.
Nice. I like
Yeah.
that. No, that's a very like relatable simple pleasure, right? It's I don't necessarily have the greatest view outside of my house, but I can remember when I was living a little bit further out, like uh having just a nice little tree line, no neighbors that were super close by. Um the smell of like fresh air wafting in from the north, this nice cool breeze is
Hmm.
so good, so classic. I love that kind of stuff. Very simple. Um, my my typical take on a simple pleasure is definitely something that I can do more internally than I can like externally. Primarily because there just isn't a whole lot for me to do out in the sticks as is. But like a lot of my simple pleasures are uh cooking or like making things, drawing. I love drawing and I love being a
Mhm.
part of like that kind of creativity space. Um where I don't feel like there's any expectation or any sort of like uh I'm just kind of drawing for the sake of wanting to draw is always been a nice simple pleasure for me. The smell of a fresh eraser or the feeling of a mechanical pencil.
Mhm.
Uh like those are really good for me
Nice.
personally.
Nice. That
Yeah.
makes sense, you being an artist and everything.
Mhm.
So, do you prefer interesting question, do you prefer sketching or do you prefer digital?
I prefer digital when I'm doing like a full render, right? I don't have a lot of money or resources really for like supplies or paint or colors or anything. Like I can't do a full render on paper. Um, so like I love digital work and I love being able to render things digitally or even like sketch things digitally because there's a little bit more control. But there's a certain feeling and texture, I think is the best way I can describe it. When I'm sketching in a sketchbook or if I'm like drawing with charcoal or like just working in a physical space in a physical medium, it might not look good and I might need to like adjust it and render it a little bit better when I uh convert it over to digital. But um even just getting base stuff down on paper is very satisfying to me.
Okay. I was just curious because, like, I've always wondered that about you. Because I know you
Hmm.
that you do sketch on paper too, and I just never knew what you
Yeah.
preferred. Yeah.
I haven't spent too much time in the physical realm, mostly because it's too expensive. It's super expensive to be an artist.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a
So like
lot of
I got
materials.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got on the digital bandwagon like really quickly because I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to worry about buying supplies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like digital better. I'm the same way. Like with my music
Mhm.
programs, like once you own the stuff, then it's very
Mhm.
easy to uh just use digital music as opposed to physical, but I know what you mean. It's kind of like it's tough.
Right. It's
I'm
hard
going to
to
ask
explain. Hmm.
I'm going to ask you something that we get asked at work all the time. My work. What's
Okay.
your favorite smell?
Ooh.
That's a really good question, isn't it?
Fuck, that is a good one. Because I like so many different
You can name
smells.
two.
I need more than two. I have so many smells that I really like. Uh, I mean, food, I guess, if I'm going to just generalize stuff, it really depends on the food. I really like that kind of fruity, sweet kind of smell, but then I also love the like deep, rich chocolate or cake um or even like bread when it's baking smell. Um so like over encompassing like food is always a really good smell for me. But then I also really like oh, what is it? What is it? What am I thinking of? There's Smells that are like tied to experiences, right?
Yes, it
Or even
reminds you
like
of a certain moment. Yeah.
yeah, reminds you of a certain moment, or even those smells that are like pumped in somewhere to give you that kind of recollection or experience so that you remember whatever it is that you're doing. Um Disney, I think, is the best example that I've got for that
Uh,
specifically.
the smell of Disney is not crazy. Like, that's a real thing. Like, the
Yeah,
smell of
it's a real
Disney.
thing.
And I'm not just talking about the
They
popcorn.
yeah.
Yeah. They pump out the
No,
smell of candy.
they pump smells into just the crowd. Or if you're at any of the kiosks getting food, or if you're in any of the rides, they pump smells into those
Hmm.
experiences so that you can like retain that memory, or even like it adds to the immersion or the illusion of the ride itself. Like uh that I really like. That I really enjoy
Hmm.
as well. Um, that kind of like old dusty library kind of smell over at Tower of Terror, or the bromine in the water at Pirates of the Caribbean, or any of the like water
That one
rides,
was strong. The bromine
right?
was really
Oh
strong.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Uh,
um or yeah, like the
it's
churro
mean,
cart
bro.
that's just
Sorry.
yeah. Or yeah, like the churro cart. They like pump that smell of the churros just out into the audience. Like you're not actually smelling fresh cooked churros. You're smelling this idea of what a fresh cooked churro
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
And I don't know, something about that seems like it's manipulative, but I kind of like it. I kind of like
It's
that.
manipulative in the best way possible, I think.
Exactly.
They're doing it because
Exactly.
you spent a lot of fucking money, and if you actually
Oh
smelled
yeah.
what the actual area of the parks probably smells like, it'd probably smell like swamp
Mhm.
water.
Probably.
So
Something
that's
like
why
that,
they,
or
that's,
even
yeah.
some sort of like yeah.
Or just like humid. It would just be humid, honestly.
Mhm. You get to smell other people. Ugh.
I hate people. um, yeah. I've chopped down my favorite smells to 3. Okay.
Yeah.
First one, and again, I associate this again, I think, with the relaxation in the morning. The smell of a
Mm.
freshly brewed pot of coffee
Mm.
is just,
Fair.
mwah, just one of my favorite.
Fair.
Can you all tell
Fair.
I'm a coffee connoisseur? I love coffee so much.
Never would have
Um,
been able to guess.
yeah, so that's the first
Don't know
one.
what you're talking about.
My second favorite one, and a very close second, is the smell of the earth right after it rains.
Oh
I love
God,
after
yes.
I love after it even drizzles or after it, downpours and then stops. I
Right?
love going out for a small little
Mhm.
walk after that because it just
Mhm.
smells so good. It's
Right.
the air feels it's like free moisturizer too, basically. It hits you in the face and it smells so
Mhm.
fresh, and especially up here
Mhm.
in the woods it smells extra fresh, so it's
Oh,
like,
I'm
oh my god.
sure. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, so that's the second
Great
one.
smell.
And then the third one I've discovered is basically the smell of fabric after it comes out of the dryer.
That's
Yeah.
another good one.
There's just something nice about the fresh, like, scent of, like, freshly washed
Right?
clothes. It's
Right.
just
And it's all
really nice.
warm
And
too.
it's all
It's all
warm
nice
and
and warm and
fuzzy and
ah, fuck yeah. Fuck
cashmere.
yeah.
No. I don't even know. Can I be honest? I don't even know what
Mhm.
cashmere smells like. This is the
I don't
candle
even know
scent, everybody.
either.
It's snowflakes and cashmere. You can't see it, but literally, Bath and Body Works. Explain to me what cashmere smells like. I don't know what it smells like. Yeah,
I don't know. I'll definitely need to like we'll have to find a shop that smells cashmere sweaters or something, and then we'll know. We'll know what cashmere is supposed to smell like.
right. Yeah. Oh, the other one I would say, um,
Mhm.
I'll give 2 more smells that I could think. You don't
Sure,
have
sure,
to. Yeah,
sure.
you can give me more too if you want. Um,
Sure.
the smell of freshly baked bread.
Oh yeah.
is
Oh my
just
god,
so
yes.
mouth-watering,
It's
especially if it's
so
from like a
good.
real bakery. Oh my god. And then
Mhm.
the other one would be oh, I lost it. Hold on. I mean, the smell of the ocean is another one I love. I love the
Hmm.
smell of the ocean, like salt water,
Nice, like salty
like
sea air.
salty sea air. Like, oh man, this is why I don't think I'll
Hmm.
ever not be able to live near the coast, is because just I can't stay away from the smell of ocean water. It just like,
Mhm.
even if I haven't like I haven't seen the ocean for like 6 months, I know that I live 20 minutes away from it and I can go back to it whenever I want. Like,
Mhm.
that's what keeps me here. And I don't know. I think that's where I was going next.
Gotcha. Those are pretty good smells. I don't have too much experience with salt air. I mean, I know what it smells like. I've been to both oceans. Um but like I don't really have too much experience with that, right? I don't have that as a uh like frame of reference personally. Um yeah, I don't know. Like I obviously gave some very generalized answers for mine. Uh do you ever okay, here's one. Do you ever think about what winter smells like?
It almost smells. Okay, so it's weird.
Mhm.
I have the best way I can describe the feeling of it is it feels
Mhm.
like I just took a breath mint,
Yes. It definitely feels like that.
but it doesn't smell like that. It smells.
No. And I'm
Oh man.
talking like a super fucking cold day. Brick fucking
No,
cold,
yeah.
hits you in the face kind of stuff. Everything is like settled and it's crisp and maybe there's a light breeze going by that nips even just a little bit harder at your nose and your cheeks and stuff. Like
Yes.
I'm talking like
Hate that,
straight
by the
up
way.
winter. I love it. I love
Fucking
that
hate
shit.
winter.
Oh my god, I
Um,
love it so much.
um, what do you like? What does it smell like?
See, for me, that's the bit, right? I
It definitely
don't
doesn't smell
know
like
how.
vanilla cashmere.
Oh, absolutely not. I
I
don't
wish
know
it would smell like
how
that.
to
I would
describe
stay.
it. Like it smells cold. It like after fresh snow. Um I can't really describe winter, right? Like, I mean, there's a moment, there's a certain smell that happens when it's snowing, right? But I think what I'm picturing, or at least what I have inside my head, is like it's freshly snowed. It's probably like pretty early in the morning as the sun is just rising. There's a fresh blanket of nice, perfectly powdered snow, and there's not a cloud in the sky, and it's just cold. It's just it hits you like a truck,
Oh
and I
yeah, those
love it.
days. See, I
I
hate that.
love that. Oh, I love it so much.
I am so skinny. Like, I have no body fat on me. That rips right through me.
Uh-huh.
And so,
Damn.
like, it's very difficult for me to enjoy the cold or cold anything unless I have like 7 layers on. I mean, it's
Mhm.
really bad how cold I get.
Mhm.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Bummer. Yeah, but I love that. I love that kind
Yeah.
of like that brick
I
wall of
love,
winter.
since we're talking about seasons, I love the smell of
Sure.
spring, but I hate what it does
Hmm.
to my nostrils.
Fair. Fair. Allergy season is no joke.
Listen, I love the smell of fresh flowers so much.
Mhm.
It's like such a beautiful
Mhm.
smell. The problem, man, is that your car gets covered in green goo.
Mm.
Oh my god, you should see the remnants of the inside of my car that I'm still cleaning out from last summer. Oh my god. Okay, for the record, everybody, last spring in Massachusetts was the
Mhm.
highest pollen count the state has ever seen on record. We were talking like,
Damn.
I'm not kidding you, like I would get the car washed and the next day it would be coated in green. Like I
Damn.
didn't even bother. So what I did instead was I just took the hose. I kept the hose attached to my garage inside, and I just used the hose and washed it off like every day, just like did a quick little spray. And then what about my day? I'd come back home, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I'd sleep, I'd go wake up and the green was back and it was just disgusting.
Damn.
And so like I love how pretty spring is, and I know this is not a seasons episode, but I love how it smells. Like we're going back to the smell of it. I hate what it does to my nostrils, but I love the smell of fresh flowers, and it's just such a fresh smell when everything starts blooming and everything like that. So, do you have
like?
Oh no, go ahead. You go first.
I'm sorry. I was only like going back to seasons. Autumn is also really nice. Is a really nice.
Let's just name every season. Why don't we?
Yeah, we'll just name all of them.
Yeah, autumn. I associate autumn with like pumpkin and apple cider and like that kind of stuff.
Like that cinnamon sugar.
Cinnamon. That's
whatnot.
a big one.
Yeah, no, it's so good. I am excited though when I actually get to move to Massachusetts. What autumn will smell like versus what it smells like here. Because I've always imagined it to be different. Watching like apple orchards fucking do their thing, or even maple leaves falling off of the trees and shit. Like I'm so excited to. I'm so excited.
They gotta get you like actually apple picking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Red Apple Farm is the most famous one here. But I also like to go, for those of you who live in Massachusetts, I like to go to a place called Honeypot Hill is another one that I love to go to. It's a very nice place. I grew up going there. And they've got some really great apple trees there.
Nice.
Moving away from smells.
Sure.
This is a very odd question, and I don't expect you to have an answer.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite sound?
Ooh.
That's a very strange question, but I just thought of it now.
It's not super strange, right? Because like there are certain sounds and like music, right? I can list off a ton of music that I really enjoy, that I love, like getting into and singing along with.
Just generic sound,
right? See, that's the interesting bit.
Because like I could say that I think my favorite sound ever is probably a huge choir singing as softly as possible in perfect harmony. There is nothing more energetic than that for me, because being a singer and knowing how difficult it is to sing quietly and in tune and with the like perfect tone and stuff like that, when a choir of like 100, I've sang with a choir of like 150 people singing really fucking quiet before, and it's electric through the whole entire place. You would think that something like that would be very calming, but it's actually an electric energy because it takes a lot of effort to sing quietly. So you feel the effort it takes this huge choir to sing super quiet. Anyway, that's like what I would say. But if I was going to go generic sound, I can't say that. Right?
Sure. Oh my gosh.
I was thinking maybe the sound of a nice little stream in the middle of a forest. There's something super satisfying about water crackling on rocks.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. That's a good sound there.
Or like the sound of a waterfall is a good one too. Not too close.
Yeah. No.
Waterfalls are a little loud sometimes.
I was thinking of like maybe the ocean rising up, waves fucking crashing on the beach and stuff.
That's a nice one. That's very calming.
That one's always been a pretty favorite for me. I put that on sometimes when I know, right? I put that on sometimes when I need to fall asleep. A lot of my go-tos are like forest sounds though. Wind through the trees or like crickets chirping out and just like the sound of nighttime um just out in the middle of the woods has always been very soothing and very calming for me. Or even not to go back to seasons, but like fall with the leaves and the wind blowing through the trees and rustling dry leaves, or even the sound of winter
Mm-hmm.
when it's like brick cold and you can like hear the breeze like passing against your window, and uh you can actually hear snow like rolling across. It's almost like sand rolling across each other. Especially on a really, really cold day. Those are great sounds for me.
Mm. Another one I would say would probably be like a drizzle on pavement is
Mm,
really good too. The nice pitter patter of water falling on
right.
pavement. Especially like
Yeah.
there are movies that do that too, and like especially animes. There's a lot of animes that have that. And they just
Mhm.
perfect that sound. It's like, oh, it's just so crisp.
Mhm.
I love it.
I'll add to that one Rain on a Tin Roof
Oh, yeah, too.
is also really good. Mhm. It's so good. It's so fucking good. I just like the sound of rain. It doesn't matter like where it is or what's going on there. I like the sound of rain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What would you say is your weirdest favorite sound?
My weirdest favorite sound.
Yeah, like the one that like you don't expect to be a favorite sound, or maybe even one that you don't expect like many other people to have as a favorite, or even just as a like, right?
I'm gonna have
Like
to think
one
about that one.
oh no worries. One that came to my mind is like a railroad, or like you're on a train. That sound of like
Oh,
the
yeah.
clicking of the tracks and
Reminds me of
uh
Thomas.
right. No, but like the clicking of the tracks, or like the sound of just movement of the train. You might even hear a whistle every now and again, and you can just hear the train doing its thing while you're riding along. Um that has always been a very interesting sound for me that I really enjoyed. And I'm not entirely sure that many other people would enjoy that particular sound. I don't know. Like
Oh,
you'll have to leave comments saying what your sounds are.
yeah.
Uh
Another one I thought of that isn't weird is the crackling of a fire. I love that one.
oh, I love that one. That one's a
Especially
good
if
one.
it's a bonfire out in the middle of
Mhm.
like a forest or a field or something like that.
Mhm.
Safe, of course.
Oh,
We're not
obviously.
starting any fires today.
No, no, no.
Um,
Absolutely not.
yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
I really don't know. Maybe I see. My first thought goes to musical instruments, like the theremin.
Hmm.
You know what that is?
Hmm. Yeah, like the wee that one.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
the Halloween. It's
Yeah,
called the
yeah, yeah.
Halloween instrument, but like
Mhm.
it's very very difficult to play that instrument because there's no actual um you don't actually play it. You hover your hand above it. It's like it's all
Right.
magnets. It's all magnets,
Mhm.
and it creates sounds. Um,
Mhm.
People either really like that instrument or find it incredibly disturbing. Either one of the two.
Mhm.
But I like that one.
I like that. It's been used a lot, especially in old school horror and old school sci-fi. So it has this kind of nostalgia to me personally. I really like the theremin. Um
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. I like it. I like that
Yeah.
sound. It's a good sound. It's weird, it's nostalgic, but I like it.
Do you want me to look up some specific questions I have?
Sure, why
Because I
not?
can look up some specific questions. Okay. How do you, if this is going to be for you,
Okay.
well, it's going to be for both of us, but I know that I'm going
Oh,
to
yeah.
change the version to you. How do you enjoy your cup of tea?
I like to put the tea bags in and let that steep for like 6 minutes and just kind of get that up and ready to go. And it's usually some sort of fruit tea or like fruit and ginger or some kind of like combination therein of flavors. Um, one of my absolute all-time favorites was like this hibiscus ginger tea that I really absolutely and loved and enjoyed. There's also a blackberry tea that was uh so good.
Blackberry sounds delicious.
Doesn't it? Sounds amazing and it tastes amazing. It's so fucking good. Um so I start off with that, right? Um Now, if I have honey available, I usually go for honey, but I haven't had honey for a minute. So I've been using Splenda, but I sweeten it a little bit with some sort of sugar something, preferably honey if I can get my hands on it. And then I give it like a shot of uh lemon juice or lime juice to just kind of like give it a little bit of a zing, nice little citrus notes at the end, and it's all just kind of that's kind of it for me. That's really all I need. I know there are some people that they have like milk in their tea or some other people that really like that dark herbal kind of flavors. Never one for me. I like that. It's simple, it's nice, and it hits the right spot. um, I even let it cool down a little bit, so that it's more warm than it is hot, and I just kinda, like, nurse on that throughout the day.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's nice. It's simple, but I like it.
Nice.
What about you? How do you like your coffee?
Hmm. Well, I do drink tea,
Oh,
surprisingly. But
uh-huh.
it's the same. I take my coffee the same way. So I my coffee is very, very simple. I'm not one of those weirdos that, 2 creams, 2 sugars, not like that fucking Dunkin' Donuts
Mhm.
people out there. I love you guys, but I also hate you guys. Um, I take my coffee very simply. I put in a teaspoon of sugar, sometimes half a teaspoon, depending on how
Mm,
sweet the coffee already is. And then I just put in just a dash of oat milk.
mm,
Particularly, I will prefer vanilla oat milk because then that gives me the sweetened flavor a little bit. But I do enjoy the
hmm.
taste of coffee. I don't like it super sweet, so I just, you know, I that's how I take it. It's very simple. I stir it up, and then yeah, I drink it with the spoon in the cup because there's something so
Mm,
satisfying for me about taking the cup, taking a sip, and having the spoon just hit my cheek. There's just something super, super satisfying about that, and I don't know what it
hmm.
is. I love it. I love
Interesting.
the feeling. Yeah, that's how I take my coffee.
Interesting.
If I want to go really fancy, and I say fancy in
Mhm.
the lightest possible way, I'll go with a oat milk vanilla latte. So I'll do
Yeah.
the espresso, I'll steam the oat milk, and then I will put vanilla in it, and I will do it with the foam
Mhm.
and everything like that. And I love lattes so much.
Mm.
Lattes are my favorite thing to drink when I'm not having regular coffee. I love lattes. Whether it
Nice.
be iced or hot, it doesn't matter what it is. I just love espresso. The taste of espresso is
Hmm.
incredible. And that's what I get when I go to Starbucks, if I do go to Starbucks, because the vanilla latte is the simplest thing to make. It's the only thing in that place that still tastes like coffee, besides the
Mhm.
actual coffee, which tastes like burnt garbage. And yeah, so I just get a vanilla latte of some kind. I love steamed milk with foam on top. Oh,
Mm.
yeah, and then you can combine
Nice.
a vanilla latte
Nice.
with any pastry you want to. It goes well with anything.
Mhm.
That's why I love it. Hmm.
Nice. I like that.
Ah, that's a good one. If you could learn anything new that you don't already know, what would it be?
Um, okay. So I'm going to preface by saying this is a very interesting question for me specifically because I've always considered myself a Jane of all trades. Um, I really like just kind of learning things or
Mm-hmm.
even learning about things. So I guess it really kind of depends, right? There's something about me wants to say music or in some fashion, like learn how to
That's
play
a
the
good one.
piano or something, right? Like
That's not
I've
uncommon.
always I've always wanted to try and learn how to play the piano, but then I also realized that I didn't have the time and I might not have the patience for it. Uh so I was always worried about being able to sit down and practice and do piano things. Um but I've always been interested in some sort of music something. But that's partially why I've been taking singing lessons so that I can still express myself musically in some way, and I would love to get back in on that. The instructor that I had over at Seattle Voice Labs was very helpful and very beneficial. Um, so I'd love to get back with them, with her, and keep going with my lessons. Um, but I can't really think of anything else that I would maybe want to learn, like something creative, maybe. I
Mm-hmm.
we only recently kind of took up oil painting, VR oil painting, but oil
I
painting.
was gonna say, are you really gonna count that?
Eh,
It's
It's as close to actual oil painting as digital art will provide. It's super fucking close. No, it's not 1 to 1, but it's close. Um, I mean, hell, I would love to learn actual oil painting. I think that'd be a ton of
same.
fun.
I
Um,
agree. Yeah.
yeah, that's really where my mind instantly drifts is I want to learn something creative. I want to be able to work with my hands and do something uh that I just kind of enjoy, right? Something that makes me feel creative in some way. What about you? What is your you want to learn something thing?
Um. So for me, this is kind of stupid because I did technically already try. Um,
Hmm.
I really, like, desperately would love to become fluent in Spanish.
Hmm.
Mostly just because that's the second most useful language in the world. I just want to be able to speak anything other than English, so that way if I go somewhere, if I can't speak English, maybe they'll speak Spanish.
Mhm.
And the other thing is that I can pretend I'm not American right now. But um
Fair.
the other thing is just like I just wish that I was more fluent in Spanish. For me, it's just practice. I need to practice more. I have the knowledge. Funny enough, I took a course on Spanish not too long ago, and I passed the basics like almost instantly. They were like, "Wow, you know a lot more than you think you do," and I'm like, "Well, it's
Hmm.
back there. I just don't know really how to say it. I don't know how to put a
Mhm.
sentence together. I know the grammar, I know the vocabulary, I just don't know how to put the sentence together." So I
Mhm.
need someone to help me practice put sentences together. And that's
Fair.
even if it's formal, I don't care as long as I can speak it, right? As long as I can
Sure.
understand. Cuz it's funny when somebody speaks Spanish, I understand a lot of what they say. I just can't speak it back. So it's very clear that my brain understands what's going on. I just
Mhm.
don't um have the ability to speak it back to somebody, and that's just practice.
Gotcha.
Um, but I think the other thing for me would be probably, and you're gonna laugh at this because you'd hate this, scuba diving.
Mm. Yeah.
Particularly though, I would love to scuba dive in coral reefs. That's what I would love to
Mm.
specialize in. That area is
Mhm.
beautiful. And seeing
That
some
would
of
be
the most
amazing.
beautiful plants and vegetation on this planet would just be so nice.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to just be careful, that's all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely, for sure. Fun fact, I've been scuba diving.
Oh. So hold on. If you can see what's
Yeah.
underwater and it's shallow enough and you are just looking around,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't scare you?
I'm generally okay, especially if I know, like, if I can see the bottom or see something and I'm able to maybe touch it. Like, maybe I'm free floating, but, like, if I were to sink down, I could push back up and be fine. Um,
Hmm. So then
uh,
hold on.
that's
You're not
yes.
scared of the ocean. You're scared of not being
Yes,
able
I
to
am.
see the bottom.
Yes, I am scared of the deep ocean.
Oh,
I am
okay. I
scared
mean,
of, like
I don't think anyone's not scared of the deep ocean. I mean, like
true.
when you think about it, like if
Yeah.
you're floating on top of the ocean and there's just
Oh, yeah.
nothing
Just, like,
underneath you.
nothing for miles.
I
Ah,
don't think anybody
I'm
would
getting
not be
squiggy.
scared.
I'm getting squiggy just thinking about it, and I'm fucking landlocked.
It's okay. That's how I feel about when I think about death. So it's the same idea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
I
this is
just
not the
oh,
fears
man.
episode.
I know. I'm just saying is that, yeah, if I were to go scuba diving at, like, a coral reef and I had a breather and I could, like, still get to the surface of the water reasonably quickly, I think I'd be fine. Um, I wouldn't want to really look out towards the deep ocean, but maybe if I'm looking towards the beach.
See, I would love. See, I'm not scared of the ocean like that. Like, I would
Mhm.
absolutely love to scuba dive anywhere,
Mm.
except in maybe like deep water. I want to um, be able to like come up if I need to breathe for some reason, but like at the same time, I have a suit on, so that's gonna be difficult. But um,
Sure.
I'm just talking about the fact that I like the idea that like I go down far enough that like I can see some really cool shit, but not far
Mhm.
enough that I can't escape it. So, you know.
Yeah. See,
And
it's
that's the other
escape.
thing.
It's the escape.
There there is one thing actually. There is one thing in the ocean that does scare the ever-loving shit out of me, and that's underwater caves. Anybody
Oh,
who
yeah.
goes diving in underwater caves is incredibly brave because there's no
Mhm.
I if I can see the surface, I'm fine.
Mhm.
The second you put me in with a roof over my head and it's all water and I can't breathe if I fuck up something,
Mhm.
forget it. No way.
Mhm. Yeah,
Absolutely
no,
not.
not happening. Fucking I don't like normal caves.
When I'm standing on solid ground.
When I'm standing on solid ground and
Have
there's
you
like a
seen
normal ass fucking cave. Oh god.
Have you seen that TikTok where they're bikers going down caves? They're like
Mm.
biking in
I
caves.
oh, no, I don't
Yeah.
think I
Oh
have
yeah.
seen that. That sounds
There's a
terrifying.
really good TikTok where they show themselves biking at like 20 miles an hour in these really really cramped caves, and
Jesus.
they do a
Oh my
really good
god.
job. It clearly takes a lot of
Sure.
practice.
Oh, obviously. God, that sounds awful.
Oh, same. I think it's terrible.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Ready to close out the
Mhm.
episode?
Sure.
All right.
What do you got for me?
We'll finish off with one final question.
Okay.
Hate these questions. If you could go back in time 20
Uh-huh.
years
Yeah.
and tell yourself
Uh-huh.
something to
Yes.
prepare yourself for your future, what would it
Mhm.
be?
Estrogen is a hell of a drug.
You
Maybe
know what's
think about it.
hysterical?
Maybe just think about it, right?
You know what's hysterical? I knew you were going to say something about
Mhm.
that. But for
Oh,
me,
yeah. Like
I thought you were going to be like, you're a fucking girl! And just scream it, you know?
fucking maybe like what is it? There's that one meme, right? Oh, I can't even think of it. off the top of my head, and it's so it doesn't even matter, but, like, the whole point of it is, like, if I could, at any point, go back and just tell myself to just fucking think about it, to really, like, noodle on that idea and question some of the things that I've been feeling for a good chunk of my life, fucking maybe I would have been able to, move past something, and who even knows, right? Maybe this
Mhm.
is the time that I really had the opportunity to think about it, but man, just was this area not conducive to those thoughts.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ugh,
That's so funny. I knew you were going to
I
talk about
know.
that too.
Oh yeah, fucking like, of course. I think that's I in all honesty, I think that's every trans person.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Especially every trans person who's transitioning at such an older age. Like if they could go back and start transitioning when they were much smaller, uh I think any trans person would.
For me, it would probably be something along the lines of things are things are not going to go as planned and your dreams are
Mm.
going to be crushed. But you can't let that
Yeah.
define your happiness and your mental health because I would just tell my younger self, focus on the things that you have and not about the things that you don't. Because if you focus on the things
Yeah.
that you don't, then you'll never be happy. That's what I would say to my younger self. And I would say,
Yeah.
just focus on being grateful for the small things in life. Again, going back to the topic of the whole thing, the small things in life you
Mhm.
already have. You have a great family, you've got incredible friends, you know. You'll be dating some shitbags along the way, but you'll always have people there to support you.
Mhm.
And, you know, hopefully you'll find someone who treats you well. And you know what? You'll always have music, even if you're not doing it as a career anymore. You'll always have music ready for you. You understand the language, you can play it, you can write it, use it as a creative outlet to make yourself happy, even if it's for nobody but yourself,
Hmm.
you know? And I would say that to every musician out there too, by the way. That's not just a me thing. Like if you're struggling with your dreams and you think you're stuck, just remember that music isn't just for money. Music is great when you can make money off of it, but music
Mhm.
is there for you 24/7. You have a music brain. You can't shut that off. You don't want to shut it off. There's no reason to shut it off. So,
Mhm.
use it. Even if it's for no one but yourself, just to practice. Like, it's okay. Everything in life doesn't have to be for somebody or something, you know?
True.
That's what I would say to my younger self.
Hmm.
Oh, and one more thing. Donald Trump's going to
Yes.
be president again.
Twice. Fucking twice, this bitch.
All right. Um all right. That's good. I think that's good enough for the end.
I think that's pretty good. Like yeah.
um
Yeah, fucking leave a comment. Talk about some of your simple pleasures. Talk about what kinds of things you really enjoy that maybe we didn't even mention or even touch on. If there are certain other senses that you might enjoy, or maybe we have a part 2 to this episode and we talk about all sorts of other things or bring up your comments. I'm rambling. Um
what else is new?
right. Uh, Typical Roxanne. Anyway, um, I'm Roxanne. That's Brendan. This has been the Dialogue Dome, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your whenever you're watching this.
All right, everyone. See you later. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.